Yay! Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my God, we have amazing class ahead. And Brooke,
Yeah.
hi.
Hello, I'm so excited. Let me share this into my Facebook group really quickly. The Fiercely
Thank
Unstoppable
you.
Entrepreneurs. I'm very excited there. And I know we'll drop the link to my Facebook group
Yep.
in the comments as well. So, yay!
So whenever you see this, it always takes people like, I don't even know, 4 to 5 minutes to like know there's a live, and I'll be tagging. But if you see this later on replay, please put #replay. And if you see it live, just be like, I'm here. And please put your name, because in StreamYard, sometimes we can't see names, and it will help. It will help us. So we are so lucky to do this today. This is the first of a new guest series. So Brooke, you're the first.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's amazing. I'm excited because I have a lot. You guys probably want to follow along. So we definitely want people to say hi as you're jumping on, because it will make so much more sense if you start at the beginning with me and we draw up together than it will if you jump in later and you're like, what is all of this happening on this paper?
Also to say, as much as it's super obvious, sometimes people miss this. So I just want to give the reminder that when you're watching, it's totally fine to like scroll to the very beginning when you can later. You might get more out of it that way. But catch the energy, because it's going to be good energy, of course, too. And I'll tag people as well. Oh, hi, Gary. Oh, amazing. Gary, I'll see you soon in London.
That's awesome. I love that.
So I think I'm going to introduce you now, my friend. Here we go.
Perfect.
So this is Brooke. Brooke is phenomenal. I'm going to say tour de force. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I'm not great with my French yet, but she is a powerful leader, and we are so lucky to have her. And she's a multiple six-figure mind shift expert and achievement strategist. And she's going to be like the yin to my yang in a little bit. And I think, we need that. We need that. So like when it comes to strategy, like I am so excited for Moonrising to get more of the business strategy side today. This is such a treat. I'm also excited to learn and see what I may also absorb. So if you are in the Moonrising sphere, and if you're in Brooke's sphere, like please sit down, like get some, I don't even know, chai, some wine, whatever feels good.
Whatever.
Like sparkling water with lemon is always good for you because it detoxifies your liver, but that's another story. But anyway, I'm so happy you're here. Brooke, I'm going to pass it to you and start to tag people. And
amazing. If people are here, can you say hello so we can see if I can see your comments in the first place? And also I want to see, hi, Gary. I want to make sure, can you guys see my board here? And I'll move it when we need to get over to this side here. But I want to make sure to say, yes, I can see it. I can hear it. We're going to be going over the 9 essentials to hitting your next $100,000 in your business. So obviously great milestones. Many of my clients, yay, yep, okay, perfect. Many of my clients actually, their goals are all very different. Some of the goals, they're like, I want to hit $100,000 in a year. Amazing, great. Some of my clients are doing it in 6 months. Some of them are doing it in 3 months. And I have had people do it in 1 month as well. So what we've got in the very, very center is, you can't really see this, but this was supposed to be a $sign, but it just really bled. But it is 100K. So that's our goal here, what we're going to do. We're going to dive into the 9 essentials, and then I have a ton of other things to discuss as well, but it depends on time and how much we have available. So I'm excited. My goal is to really, there are times in our life and in our business where there's ebbs and flows. And there are times where you're exactly where you desire to be. And you're like, my life is so incredibly amazing. And I'm receiving in excess. And I'm receiving in abundance. And I'm receiving in overflow. And this is incredible. And then there are times that we go through where it just feels a little bit more lack. And it feels a little bit more like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so whether you are where you want to be or where you're not, that is okay. I want you to know, if you can take away anything today, just know that there is no amount of time too small to make massive things happen for you. So this is still your year, 2023, right? Can I get a hell yeah for that in the comments? This is still your year. And I'm going to be here to help, make sure you understand more of what the strategies look like and what you can be doing and how to make it an extremely prosperous year for you. So yes. Okay. This is going to be what we're going to be going over. We're going to go over some strategies that are needed to get to your next $100,000. And then we'll talk about some of the top scaling strategies that have allowed me to go from, maybe you guys don't know this about me, but a few years ago before starting this business, I was on food stamps. So being broke was an understatement. I was super broke, to all scaling to over $1 million, traveling the world. I jokingly told Emily I'm probably going to join her in, one of these days in one of these countries because I love it. So as you jump on, I'd love for you to say hello. Greetings from London. Hello. And I'm really excited to connect with you. I'll introduce myself. I know she briefly talked about me. So I'm Brooke Allison. If you have seen me before, I always like to do OG, like for the people who've been following me. If I'm brand new to you, just put new in the comments so I know. I'm a multiple six-figure mind shift expert and achievement strategist. So I help ambitious entrepreneurs kind of collapse time around receiving their next $100,000. And we do that by pairing together proven strategy and mind mastery. Okay. So I am a master practitioner in 5 different fields. I'm a master hypnotherapist. I do master practitioner in NLP, EFT, everything. Okay. So we focus on mastering your personal psychology so we can rewire your brain for your success, as well as, I help people kind of make as much money as they want, having the step-by-step plan along the way. I think we can get excited about that. So again, you guys, if you're not in my Facebook group, Gary said, well done, turning it around and upside. Love to hear your story. I am a published author. I can drop that link for you later, Gary. It's a co-author book and it's amazing. I'm actually the first chapter. So you can definitely read more about my story there, as well as I do have a podcast called Fiercely Unstoppable. So you can also tune into, or we can just chit chat and I can tell you more about my story that way as well. Okay, so let's dive into this, okay? And I know that I actually have the link right here, so I'll just drop the Facebook group. I'm not sure if this comment will show up, but hopefully, maybe I can't. I don't know. I can't figure it out. So whenever you have time, Emily, if you want to drop the Facebook group link, that'd be awesome.
I got you.
I'd love to know who in here is running towards 6 figures or multiple 6 figures this year. You can just put like me in the comments. Be like me. If you are running to your next 100,000, because I do have something for free for you at the end. I want to make sure that you guys have some strategies to take home. It's like a 14-page beautiful cheat sheet. So you definitely want to check that out. Awesome. I've got a me. Yay. Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but it's a me. I love it. There are 3 core things that we need in order to hit your next $100,000 in cash. Now, what I look at, and this is honestly something that I feel like I coined throughout the years, is it's confidence, clarity, and cash flow. So when you're not at the cash flow that you desire, what happens is there is a direct tether to your confidence. So what happens is when you're not receiving the income, there's something going on in your confidence. And if you're not confident in something, there's something going on in your clarity. There's something that we're not clear on. So when we look at this, and you guys, please fill this out as we go, okay? When we look at this, hopefully I have enough room. We are looking at, I'm just gonna put a big C for confidence. Confidence, okay? So the big C for confidence. We look at clarity. And then we look at cash flow. And I'll just do CF for cash flow so you guys can see that. Okay. So these are the 3 main pieces of the puzzle that are going to help you get to your 100K. And we're going to break it down so much further so you know the exact 9 essentials that actually help each of these pieces. And then we'll dive into all sorts of really fun strategies. Okay. So like I said, clarity brings confidence. Confidence brings lots of cash. Truly, truly. The experts that you see out there who are really making it, the people that you look up to, the people that you're like, wow, like they are killing it. I want to be where they are. Those people, they've got all of these figured out, okay? They have mastered their marketing, they've mastered their confidence, and they've mastered their sales. And so we're going to dive deeper into that as well. But if you're not receiving the cash flow going on that you really desire, there's something's going on in your confidence, and it could be that you're not clear on your messaging. It could be that you're not clear on your audience, your niche, your fears. They could be anything throwing you off and out of alignment. So let's go into this even deeper because I'm sure you guys can follow me from here. When you actually have in place the confidence and the clarity, when you have this in place on a strategic level, that means you have a very, very strategic 6-figure business plan. So I'm going to put in here 6-figure plan. Okay. How many of you feel like you have a very clear step-by-step 6-figure plan? Put plan in the comments if you feel like you have this. Put plan in the comments if you feel like you have this. So this means that you know exactly what you're doing. You feel good about your plan. You are confident. You are clear. You know every single day, here's what I do on Monday. Here's what I do on Tuesday. Here's what I do on Thursday. Here's what I do every month. Here's what I do every week. And you know the action needed to get to the result. So again, this is the result we're after, the $100,000. Woohoo! We know that, okay? If you don't feel like I have it, just say I don't. I don't have that right now. And that's okay. This is a super safe space. Like building that awareness of where you are is going to help us accelerate your growth faster because we have to identify where the bottlenecks are in your business. And you guys, I'm more than happy to personally help you identify where your bottlenecks are. And okay, I don't have that right now. That's okay. That's okay. Again, no pressure. That's okay. It's just identifying this is not where I'm at. No problem. We know where we need to begin. So with that said, if you guys want some personal help actually identifying the bottlenecks that are going on that's kind of blocking you to your next $100,000, put bottlenecks in the comments and I will reach out to you personally later and I will have a conversation with you to help you figure that out because it is really important to see what we need the most support with. Okay, let's see what I want to go over next. Clear, and you have a lot of cash flow coming in. So you're clear, you know what you're doing. You have a lot of cash flow coming in. You've got that physical evidence. That means that you've got your magnetic messaging and marketing figured out. That means it's working. Everything is good. You're getting the green light. Everything is smooth sailing. So I'm going to put magnetic messaging. Now, this means that you are attracting. There's different levels that we go through when it comes to the customer journey, and we take someone from an unaware phase. When they're unaware, that means they're either a stranger, and I don't know who in here is maybe the best kept secret, right? You're really good at what you do, but you're like literally the best kept secret on the planet, and nobody knows who you are. I hear you. There's a lot of people who come to me when they're in that space, but what this looks like is you're not the best kept secret. You've moved them effortlessly from stranger to a prospect or even a lead where they might be getting into your sales opportunity, the opportunity where you can actually transform and help them transform. So which is really exciting. How do we feel about your magnetic messaging? Do you guys feel like you have that? Put in messaging if you do. If you feel like you don't have that, just say, I don't really have that either, or I don't have that. And just identifying where we are. When we have the confidence and the cash flow, right? So these are the direct tethered ones right here. When we have this in place, this means you have way more consistent sales. One of my biggest passions, it's not helping people hit $10,000 one time. Because yeah, anybody can do that. Anybody can hit $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. But the key is that we want to have more consistent sales. I want you to be able to look in your calendar and just look down and be like, I'm making $10,000 every single month for the next 6 months, even if I don't lift a finger. What would that do for you? Like, how would that benefit your life? How would that make you feel? Put it in the comments. I would love to know. You guys, I love feeding off energy. So I know there's some people here, don't be shy. I don't bite. But right here, when we've got this here, the clarity and the cash flow, that means we have, the confidence. I apologize. I misspoke. The confidence and the cash flow, when we have that going on, we have way more consistent sales, AKA way more high 5-figure cash months in a row, which is really what's going to help you get to that $100,000. So we're going to do more sales. Okay, so how are we doing so far? Are we following along? We doing okay? Again, you guys, my focus is Emily says, this is gold. Thank you, Emily. My focus is to help you create consistency in your income. Something that I realized, I remember I was in a VIP day when in my own growth journey as well, and hiring an entrepreneur to support me and hiring a coach to support me. And she asked me what I was really good at. And I was like, I'm so good at consistency, consistent clients, consistent cash. And that's something that we have to learn how to do. And that's why I'm teaching this training today, because I want you to be able to have that. I just celebrated I want to say it's hard to keep track once you get to a certain level, but it's well over, I would say 57th or so, 5-figure cash month. And I have the expectation that I'm going to have them again and again and again. But remember, this is me saying that being a person who came from food stamps, I think I had $20 in my account when I started this business. Maybe that would be a lucky day that it wasn't overdrafted. So if I can do that, if I can have that massive growth, you can absolutely do this too. And I just want you to claim in the comments, you guys, I can absolutely do this. I am so good at what I do. I am changing lives, whatever feels good to you. Claim it in the comments, whatever feels good to you. I am changing lives. I am open and ready to receive. I'm making massive money now. All the good stuff. Okay, but if we were to look at these 3 areas, having more consistent sales, having a 6-figure business plan, having the magnetic messaging that is needed to take someone from a stranger to a paying customer, right? Obviously, they all connect together to get to 100,000, but which of these 3 do you feel you need the most support with now? And I'm going to pause so you guys can comment and tell me. Which of these 3, the more consistent sales, 6-figure business plan, or magnetic messaging, which of these 3 do you feel you need the most support with right now? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. And if you're on the replay, I want you to watch this as if you're live. Because I want to make sure this makes sense, and I want you to have clarity now. Because 1, not only do you get to work backwards and identify, okay, I need help with my magnetic messaging. That means that I need to have a way more clarity. And then I also need to be receiving more cash flow. So then we're going to look at the strategic and energetic way that you're doing those things now and identify what kind of bottlenecks are happening here. So Meg said 6-figure plan. Meg said, I did have messaging, just birthed a new business. So messaging is a process all over again. Yes. And you know what's so crazy is that throughout your multiple 6-figure journey and receiving money is sometimes that shifts throughout as well. So then you really have to get clear. I have an ideal client breakthrough that I give my clients, and I do that every 6 months just to make sure I'm on point with where my clients are and what we need to move forward with. Meg said, I'm ready to receive without lifting a finger. Hell yeah, I love that affirmation. That's I know you took that, but I love that, without even lifting a finger. That's awesome. Okay, perfect. So let's dive into these deeper, because what's cool is you'll be able to work backwards to see, but then we'll also be able to work forwards with the 9 essentials. And there's 3 in each area that is really going to help you scale. So what we're looking at first is let's talk about the strategic 6-figure business plan, since we started here. And I'm going to try to write the best that I can. That's why I hope you're following along and writing this down as well. But I only have so much room on here. So when you have a very strategic 6-figure business plan, this means that you have tons of visibility going on. This means that you have your daily plan, you know what you're doing. But what happens on the flip side when this is in motion, when this is all the strategies are working together, you scale quickly. So that's number 1, okay? You scale quickly. I'm just going to put scale Q. You scale quickly. Gary said, just to explain, I don't have a business set up yet, so difficult to respond, but the value and information and your time and energy. Yes, but you value that. Thank you. That's okay. This can, there's a lot of things that really can correlate to you receiving more money in whatever you do. But I'm grateful that you're here and listening and gathering some information. There's always good takeaways you can take away. So when you have a strategic 6-figure business plan, you scale quickly. The other thing that you have in place is a very simple lead generation process that actually works for you. A lot of people really struggle with their lead generation, and they don't really know how to actually attract their leads. And then like I said, there's different phases of leads from stranger to paying customer. It's the unaware phase, the aware phase, and the conversion phase. A lot of people get stuck in that unaware phase and they don't know how to get them over. So when you've got this in place, you have a very simple lead generation process that will work. So I'm going to put, I'll put that down here, lead gen process. Okay. That was from me. Sometimes we take all the info now to apply it later. Exactly. Yes. You're like, that was from me. I love it. Okay. So the other thing that we have when we have a very, very strategic 6-figure business plan in place, you have powerful promotions. Okay. What this means is you are closing more sales more often, which I think we can all agree that we would enjoy. More sales more often. So like I said, the strategies that we work on together are going to be the ones that help you have 5-figure launches, 6-figure launches more consistently. But what happens here is you have very powerful promotions. I'm going to write up this way for this one. So power promotions. So I'll put power promo. The thing you need to realize is every single business that you respect out there, or every brand that you buy from, whether it's a personal brand, whether it's a huge brand that you love, they all have some form of a powerful promotion. So we need to look at what you're actually doing in the promotion realm and what can you do to shift that. Again, you guys, if you want me to take a look at how you're doing business right now, and really identify what those bottlenecks are that are keeping you from this $100,000, that strategically and maybe what's going on, mentally in your mind, we can absolutely go over that. Just put bottleneck in the comments and I'll reach out and talk you through that. But let's go over, do we have any questions about scaling quickly, lead generation process, or powerful promotions right now? Because again, the more we write, the more this is going to get really chaotic. So I'm trying to make it really clear. I think, how are we doing, Emily? I'm going to just tune into you for a moment and see how everything is going.
Everything's good. I'm just trying to keep up with the comments and tagging. But
I love it. Okay, perfect. It doesn't look like then maybe we don't have any really, we might have questions later and I'll totally open for Q&A at the end as well.
Yeah, don't be shy, guys, because truly this is, this is not, we get more out of these lives if we're not passive, and you're so generous to be here. So please don't be afraid to, ask questions. There's 10 people watching. So wherever you are. And also, I just want to say, I think sometimes people get shy because they go, oh, I don't know if I have that. And this is exactly the space to not be shy, because Brooke, you're so beautifully offering to help. So yeah, don't be shy. Comment.
Yes. Okay, perfect. We're going to move on as if all of this makes sense right now. But like I said, it gets really chaotic as we get through all this, the page does. So hopefully you guys are following along beautifully. And if you do have questions, do not hesitate to ask. You can also send me a DM if you feel like you want to talk a little bit more privately. That's okay too. We can talk about it that way. Okay, so let's move on to the magnetic messaging. So when you are magnetic with your messaging and marketing, here's the kicker. You don't just attract people, you attract ready to buy leads. And I think we all desire that way more than just attracting. You're always going to attract people that can't afford your services and the people who seek freebies. That always is going to happen. That's not going to be eliminated. But what we want to focus is on, actually, there's a whole other thing that I want to tell you guys about. Okay, let me see if I have room to draw on here. I might be at the bottom. But what we want to focus is on the people who are ready to buy leads. Okay. So I'm going to put that right in here. I'm just going to put leads right here. And then, but know that I'll put R2B leads. They are ready to buy. I want to talk through, this is just an impromptu, not even part of this training, but when you hang out with me long enough, I go on some squirrel moments and we just dive in even deeper. So what I want to talk about is the lead generation process. So usually it looks like a triangle. I'm trying to make enough room so I don't ruin everything else. So there's 4 different phases of lead generation. We want to get down here. This is super flow. I'm going to put SF. Okay. This is super flow. This means that you are just smooth sailing and you've got leads coming in out the wazoo. It is like the fire hose is turned all the way on and it is like, woo, you're having a great day. Okay. But it takes approximately 90 days of consistent activity and consistent strategy to get to super flow. This is few. This is a flow. This is flood. So we're looking at your strategies and where you are. The reason why I'm telling this, you guys, is we need to audit like where you actually are, what's actually working, what's not working, and really make sure we're turning up the heat on the things that are working really well. You know, the biggest issue I see is people, and I love being spontaneous and trying a bunch of things, so that's not wrong. You're not wrong in that. But we need to make sure we have like our proven path and the flexibility to try a bunch of stuff. So once we know what's working really, really well, we can like enhance it. And then it's just like, I don't even know. Just before you know, it's like magic. Everybody's saying yes to you. People are DMing you. People are like, wow, you're changing my life. It's just, it snowballs into this really beautiful effect for you. Okay, love hearing about the lead generation process. So it takes, like I said, typically 90 days to go from a few to, this is super flow, right? We want to get into super flow in everything we do, especially our lead generation process. Now, here's the kicker. This is what people don't realize is that typically 50% of your audience does really have the potential to buy from you. And I'll tap into this a little bit later if we have more questions about this. I want to make sure we can get through everything. But what people don't realize is 15% of that 50 probably will buy within the first 90 days. The thing is that other 85%, they buy within 90 days to potentially 2-3 years. So are you forgetting about all of those people who have come through? Especially when you get to Superflow, we want to make sure we have buckets to catch people everywhere. This is where the strategy comes in of how are we catching these people to like put them back through our pipeline? You know, like how can we reignite them? I have a new client that just signed up and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm brand new to you. And I said, amazing. And then guess what? She wasn't. Then we looked through our DMs and she was like, oh, we talked 4 years ago. And I'm like, that's incredible. Of course we did. In my mind, I'm like, of course, that's exactly what happened. Because I know these strategies that we need to have in the back end. So it makes sense. It's when you have the numbers, you see a lot more magic happening in your business, in your life, in this joyous process. But it's when we don't have the numbers, it's just, the magic is just more far and in between. So we just want to make sure we have that plan of what you need to do. Yes, that happened to me too here. Woo! Yay, Emily, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. It's such a fun, joyous process. Okay, back to magnetic messaging. When you have this, you easily grow your audience daily. So something that I'm sure Emily experiences as well is my Facebook group. And again, if you optimize your Facebook group properly too, you should be led with hot leads every single week, every single day from that. But I have probably just naturally, without even doing anything, I would say 100 plus people join my Facebook group every single week, right? Or asked to join my Facebook group. We don't always accept everybody, but that's something to consider. You know, it's the way I think about these strategies that we're building for you guys is they're all like little tiny puzzle pieces. And you know the big picture, right? Because you've got it on the cover of your puzzle. You're like, okay, I know what this is supposed to look like. And we're just trying to put all the pieces together so it starts working like a well-oiled machine. Does this make sense so far? The other thing that we have when you are extremely magnetic with your messaging is you are actually seen as the go-to expert. You start to be like recognized. People start to immediately say, hey, I need help with so-and-so. And they're like, Emily's your girl. Brooke is your girl. You know, Gary is your guy. Mia is your person, right? They know. So you start to actually create that expert status. So you get the expert status when you've got the magnetic messaging. It's really, really important for credibility and for people to have more eyeballs on you. Now, the thing you have to remember is it takes one thing to serve one person to make one decision to say yes to you. Like that's literally all it is. So what's so beautiful is when you have the mindset is it only takes one thing. We know your action steps. We're going to do those action steps every single day. You're leaning into this process of lead generation. You're getting to the super flow eventually. and we have this plan, and you're going to start to see everything build up. It's really, really beautiful. And I want you to experience that. So you get to that point where you have the expert status. People are tagging you. People are like, this is your girl. Like, this is your guy. This is who you need to go to for this level of support. All right. So let's get to consistent sales, because who does not want more money coming through? I mean, the truth is, especially when it comes to entrepreneurs, sometimes I feel like we forget, why we did this in the first place. But really, it's like, you didn't start a business to be broke. You didn't start a business to hustle all of the time and not have any fruits of your labor. So we really want to make sure we're focusing on more consistent sales, more consistent income, so that you can live the life like Emily, where she's in Italy right now and apparently going to London really soon. And that's so exciting, because I did that in 2019. I traveled full time. I lived in London or Europe and the UK most of the year. I bought a house because of this business by myself. There's no other humans here, just me and my dog. So anything is possible. Everything that you desire, I truly believe, like, it's already written, like, it's already meant for you. We just have to have the path to get you there. So that's why we're talking about all of these essentials to your next $100,000. Now, when it comes to more sales, the obvious first note is you have consistent increase of cash, but it's consistent cash. So you increase, I'll put that up here. You increase your consistent cash. So that's number one. Okay. I really want you to play. I have a whole workshop on just playing with money. Literally, I called it a play shop. We spent about two and a half hours just playing with money. And so I want you to play with the idea and the physical form of money and receiving more. And what would that be like? Get curious and allow those excitements and that fun energy to come through, and get excited about what your life is really about to be like. This also, more sales, what I love about this is it allows you to elevate your product funnel. Now, your product funnel is your proven sales strategic way that you're going to have the process that takes someone from a stranger to a paying customer. This is your referrals. This is your upsells. This is your downsells. This is how you're going to have retention. This is how you're going to build out what did she say? I love the affirmation. I'm ready to receive without lifting a finger. Yeah. So earlier I said, what if, I want you to look down the calendar and be like, okay, the next 6 months, I don't even have to lift a finger and I'm making $10,000 every single month. That's where I want you to be, because then we are able to stack income even more. That's how people are able to create $100,000 months and more. I have a love-hate relationship, and I don't know what Emily's going to say about this, but when people say, you don't have to have the how, and I'm like, to me, I say it's BS, because one, we're going to let go of the how. If you want to chime in, I was like, I don't know what you're going to say about this. Wait, you're muted, hon. Come on.
My bad, I'm here. I'm in. About the how.
Yes.
I did the weird layout. Dang, StreamYard. Okay, that's much less invasive.
I know, I was just like over here, like it's like I'm here.
Honestly, you do have to have a how, and I love that you're talking about this, because also, like, both of us.
I'm so grateful that you said that, because I was like, oh, I wonder how she feels about this.
Obviously, I lead it from a spiritual perspective and always working with source. Like, everybody knows that, but you have to have the how. And I say that because I will openly share that there were many points in Moon Rising when, because we all serve from the heart, right? And like you said, it's also, we want to make sure that we're also minding the financial pieces too, even though it's not the forefront, but it still is important to have balance also, so you can keep growing and keep helping people. But there were many points for a while in the business when it was very up and down financially, because there were some like leaky buckets. I didn't come up with that. Someone else came up with that. Strategy pieces, and like the how is so key. And then with that said, I will be super open, even though I haven't talked about money in a while, that the reason I'm able to travel so much and not so much worry about it is that I know how much I'm making a month at minimum. And that honestly in 2020 wasn't there. It was like, because I knew I wanted to give, but I didn't quite understand it. So like, we have to be, actually, can I go a little further? Do you mind, just for like a second? Like, there are so many amazing entrepreneurs I know and so many that are probably watching this right now or will watch it in the replay that have these beautiful heart-led ideas and gifts. And I think people just kind of get overwhelmed and they think just, oh, it's hard or it's going to be just work. And so they kind of distance themselves or they're inconsistent. But we have to have the how. But you get to have the how and also not feel like you're chained down or that it's not fun, or like it gets to be enjoyed. Like it gets to actually free you more when you have the how.
I love that you said that, because that's exactly how I feel, because the how, like actually knowing how it's possible gives you the physical evidence that your conscious mind and your unconscious awareness appreciates, that says, here's how I can actually do this. Because too often our goals are this thing that's so like, that feels unattainable, or how could that happen for me? Or God, I see Emily living this beautiful life in Europe, and you know, it's like, I just want to live like that. Okay, yeah, that's great. Let's do that. Let's figure out how it's possible. That was my dream for 8 years. It took me 8 years to hit that dream of traveling full time. But I did it, right? Like it's possible, but you have to know how it's possible to free yourself to be like, okay, now this makes sense. Now I'm confident, clear, and confident enough to take action because I know it's possible. Therefore, the cash flow is going to start coming in because you're taking the proper action that produces income.
Dead right. And also, like, don't be afraid to fall.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. I mean, like, God, there's so many things I didn't do that I would never do again.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, having like those pieces, there is no business that can't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're dead on, my friend.
I love it. Now we're on the same page, because I'm always like, people are always like, just forget how it's going to come together. So it's like, what I believe is like, once you know how, and once you know that it's possible, we release the how. We allow excess and abundance to come through, but we know this is possible, and here's my plan, and here's what I'm going to do to help me get there. It's almost like the way I like to describe it, and this is my favorite way of thinking of it, especially about manifestation, is like when you order, especially at Amazon. I mean, anywhere in the world pretty much has Amazon these days, but gosh, now they have overnight delivery half the time. And it's like, you trust when you order it, it's going to be here in the next day or 2 days. But you're not like calling them and be like, did you get my order? Are you on the truck? Did it make it to the next truck? Did it get from California to New York to San Francisco? I don't know. Right? Like, you're not calling them and being like, is it safe? Did the package break? Is everything cool? Is it going to be on my door? You know, like, you're like, okay, I'm going to make this order, and then I'm going to trust that it's going to be on my doorstep, because you have that built evidence that it's happening. So that's what we're doing here, is we're building your own evidence that this is totally, fully happening for you. So Meg said, be, do, have. Yes, it's still has the word do, which relates to how. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Okay, so getting back to it here, you have your product funnel. So your product funnel allows a lot of retention, as well as how people are going to continue to pay you, how people are going to continue to have the next step, or how they're going to cycle back into your world with the lead generation process. And then the third thing here, and then we'll talk about the 9 essentials again, is really what this means is when you have more sales going on, you have mastered your sales conversions. And that's so incredibly important to have the strategies around your sales process. So if you want your close rate, first off, if you don't know what your close rate is, let's go find out. Okay. That we need to know where you're at. That's what we need to know, what's happening here, what's happening in your business. So we want your close rate to be at least 50%. So that means that 1 in 2 people are going to sign up with you, from you. They're going to buy. They're going to be like, let me give you my money. You're going to be like, absolutely. So you have a higher increase of sales conversions. And then we want to increase it from there. A lot of my clients are actually able to get to 80% close rate, which is pretty cool. Meg says, what stops you from starting it? Do you know?
Oh, that was me. That was me asking Meg, because
that's what you said to Meg. Okay, I was like, from starting what?
No, Meg was talking about, I know I should create a Facebook group.
Oh, yeah. Get it done. Make it this weekend. Come back to us. Tell us both that you made it happen. Get it done. Let's have some fun. I'm excited to see it. Let Emily and I be the first 2 people in there. Okay, so this is the sales conversions. I'm going to write it this way because I'm running out of sales conversions. Okay. Woo! How are we doing so far? So with everything that we've talked about, all of the 9 essentials, we can talk about them here again soon, but what are the ones that have really stuck out to you that you're like, I really need to focus on this? Like, what do you know you need to focus on to increase your income? So I will go over these 9 again really quickly. And then I want to talk about a little bit further of what you have and what you don't have when you have these. So again, the 9 are: when you have a 6-figure business plan, you scale quickly. You have a very simple lead generation process that allows people to come in again and again and again. You have powerful promotions. When you've got your magnetic messaging, you have ready to buy leads. That's important. Ready to buy people who are here's another little tip for you. Okay. So I was like, you know, my squirrel moments. I'm like, squirrel. Okay. Ready to buy leads. There are studies that show that it might take someone consuming 7 hours of your content in order to be like, yes, I'm in. So do you have that in place? Do you have a space where they can even consume 7 hours of you, of your voice, of your workbooks, of your writing, of your audio, whatever it is? Is there a space for people to do that? Something to consider. You grow easily and effortlessly, like it just happens really easily. You also are seen as the expert status. So again, which of these 1 to 2 do you know you need to work on? Put them in the comments. Also, you have an increase of sales conversions. You are able to elevate your product funnel, and you have an increase of consistent cash flow. Okay. Now, what I like to look at is when we don't have these things in place, like when we don't have this, we don't have a strategic plan, we don't have more sales, that means that we lack consistency and we lack cash. So if you're feeling in a place, this is what I love about this training that I made, is that we can kind of identify, once we can see where you're struggling, we can either work backwards or forwards to figure out what strategies we need to implement for you. So you either lack cash and you probably lack consistency. Consistency. Do you guys ever just forget how to spell like in mid-word sometimes? Or is it just me? Sometimes I'm like, okay. Wow. I love how specific that is within 7 hours. Yeah, it's so true. I love it. Perfect. Okay. When we don't have magnetic messaging and we don't have a 6-figure plan, that usually means that we have a very cold audience. And often you're the best kept secret. Nobody even knows what you do, who you are, how you're going to support them. They don't know the next step. They don't know how to take that with you, whatever, and so forth. So when we don't have magnetic messaging and we don't have more sales, so if we don't have these 2, we don't have any clients. So we have little to no clients, which is not really a fun place to be. So there's potential that you're in here and you've been listening to this training and you're like, I don't really know how to identify what I'm struggling with and what I need the most help with. And that's okay. Again, like I said, you guys can put bottleneck in the comments and I will take a look at how you're personally doing business and show you exactly what you need to shift in order to get you to your next $100,000. I'll even talk to you about the core strategies that you should start implementing to help you get there faster. So all you have to do, and I'll look through the comments later, but just put bottleneck and I will come back through and I will chit chat with you. But you might be able to go backwards and say, okay, am I in a place where I don't have clients? Am I in a place where I'm lacking cash and consistency? Am I in a place where my audience is just really cold? Then we can work backwards to see, okay, what needs to happen there. Now, the good thing is when you do have this, so when you have more sales in the 6-figure business plan, you are getting seen, because I'm gonna put get seen. Okay. I would say get seen and heard, because people have to actually hear you to be excited and ready to buy from you. So you get seen and heard. When you have more sales and magnetic messaging, actually, I changed my mind. So this is really, when you have a 6-figure business plan and the magnetic messaging, this is really this one here. There we go. I was like, wait, something's wrong. All right. you get seen. So when you've got your magnetic messaging and a 6-figure business plan, you get seen. When you have way more sales coming through and a 6-figure business plan, you are way more confident and consistent. Okay? This is what happens here. And then when we have more sales in magnetic messaging, you make a lot more money, okay? So when we have more sales in magnetic messaging, it's like massive money is coming through. Okay, perfect. Do you remember how I told you that if you didn't follow along or you came in at the end, this may look a little bit chaotic and you're like, what is going on here? This is why I really suggest starting from the beginning to like go through all of this. But I hope that this is making sense. Okay, the 9 essentials to helping you hit your next $100,000. Now, again, what we do is we're going to pair this with the proven strategy as well as, you know, the energy activation, a lot of the stuff that Emily does herself. And then what I do is kind of like the mind rewiring in your brain. Really, you can shift within 17 seconds. But it's choosing to want better. It's choosing to desire more to help you do that. So I have so much more that we could talk about, but I feel like this is a really good spot to like ask for questions. But also, I'd love to, again, if you guys want to join me in the Facebook group, if we can pop that there in the comments, the Facebook group, as well as I have a freebie for you guys, the exact strategies. Where do you suggest people begin? With what? So do you want to come on, just like ask, like we just talked about it?
No, you were like literally saying it as I was asking. I was like, we're getting all this incredible goodness. And I was like, okay, but what now? You know, like, you know, kind of like you asked me in my life, like you were just saying that you have something for people. So like, what's the next step for people? Because it could potentially, like you were saying, it could look overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Yes. So what's
exactly. So, I mean, there's so many ways that we can get started. Most likely, we probably want to do some form of an audit on your business to figure out what has been happening, what's working really well, what's not working. Again, that's why like I'm offering to personally talk with you guys to go over what those bottlenecks are. So again, just put bottleneck in the comment and I will like come reach out to you later today. The other thing is obviously joining the Facebook group. And then 2, I have a complete free cheat sheet for you guys. Okay. So I'm a person, I love paper. I love to be able to like look at things and hold something in my hand. These are the exact 10 strategies that I use, that my clients use. Actually, 5 of my clients have passed me up, you guys. I want you to be someone who passes me up. That's what I want for you, truthfully. So these are the exact 10 strategies that help me scale to $1 million and hit 500,000 in a year. So it's like 14 pages of juicy strategies to help you grow. So it's a free cheat sheet, I believe. So that's the Facebook group. And the cheat sheet, the 10 core strategies, if you don't have the link, you can put cheat sheet in the comments, but I believe we have the link for that as well. It's completely free. You guys can dive into it and then start implementing those 10 strategies alone. You're going to start to see increases immediately in your business. So just remember, things don't have to take a long time for it to work. But sometimes things do take time. So we have to kind of work with that polarity of knowing that things can happen really fast. And I'm here for the long run. I'm planting seeds every single day, but I'm also here for my success and other people's success years down the line, even if it starts to transition slowly. So
I'm really glad you said that. Yeah. I think a lot of people with businesses kind of think, oh, okay, I'm going pedal to the metal for like 6 months and then they burn out. And this is not.
I feel like I've burned out a million times, but it's like there's so many things to go back to. It's like, why do we do this in the first place? What do I actually desire? Like what I find happening when burnout happens is we're often looking at everybody else and then our jealousy comes in and why am I not there? Like, why am I not there? I get it. And it's a simple thing to say. And it's something that I'm sure I work on all the time. So I'm sure other people work on it as well. And so if you can go back to, these are my 2 things. Whenever I feel that I've lost my power, I've lost sense of myself, or I don't feel like I know what I'm doing and I feel overwhelmed and I feel confused, I go back to, what do I know is meant for me? What do I know is meant for me? And it's just something that you know. And if you know right now, when I just asked that question, I got goosebumps. But if you know right now, just pop it in the comments. Like, what do you know is meant for you? And then I ask myself, what do I know is true about me? What do I know is true about me? And those two questions will always help you reconnect to where you're going, what you desire, and get you back into that confident state of, yeah, I'm freaking amazing. I am awesome and I am making this happen. Perfect. Robin, you want the cheat sheet? Hell yeah. We've got the link and I can always grab it for you as well later.
Hope I got the right link.
Do we have? Yes, it should. I mean, the looks good. Looks like the link to me.
I was like, I think that's the link. I don't...
So you guys, do we have questions? Did we enjoy this? How are you feeling? Are you, I want to hear all the things. Do you have any big takeaways? I would love to hear that as well.
I will share a takeaway.
Yes, please do.
Like, again, like as I look at like all the different conversations about business, because often people would be like, what is the energetic mastery behind money? Which was what my life was about. Yeah. But so many new entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs that will switch and pivot and start like change their business because they fall into like really what their heart wants to do. But as I said, like, it's beautiful to love what you do. It's beautiful to have amazing gifts, but you've got to have the concrete pieces in play. And I think like, and I really appreciate that you're like, Emily's beacon of success for their travel. Bless you, you sweet, sweet human. I traveled again on Wednesday. It's bananas. But like, it does not happen because we don't have a plan. It doesn't happen because we don't have a team. Like I don't do moon rising by myself. I don't do moon rising without a plan. None of us should be doing that without a plan. Oh, Meg Zeke, I'm just going to read it since I'm here because I can see it. Because guys, if you're wondering like, why is Emily commenting so much? StreamYard is wonderful, but also a pain in the butt and doesn't like list.
I know. Oh, I didn't even see the private chat. Okay.
So Meg says, thank you so much. I love the reminder about 90 days is the amount it takes to be more consistent. And she said, you have amazing energy and I appreciate you. And she's heading off to her group session and says, thank you. But yeah, the 90 days, that's also super important that we're not always expecting it to be like instantly because it will be when someone's ready.
Right. And things like, I think that's like the misconception. Now I am all about what I tell people when we like start doing, I'm like, I'm ready to run as fast as you are. So it's like, things can happen quickly, but we're going to work as if the goal is happening. We're going to work as if you're hitting $10,000 in the next 30 days. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay. But we're going to do the things that are necessary. So I'm always looking for what is the path of least resistance for more income. Yeah. So that's what we're looking for is like, there's so many people out there that just make things so complicated and it can be really simple and simple always scales. Complicate just complicates everything. So
we made that mistake so many times.
I tried. Oh man, learning lessons, right? Like, I mean, I spent over $20,000 for a year-long mastermind, and I gained some really incredible things from it. But I made my business super complicated after trying to implement their strategy into mine, and it just it's funny because I remember fighting it the whole way, and I was like, I don't want to do it like that. I don't like that. I don't want to do it like that either, and I don't want to do it like that. But I just was trying to trust. Obviously this mentor, as I ideally want my clients to trust me too. But the way I find that I'm very different is I help personalize each business plan. I don't teach just here's the one way to success. No, there's a million ways to make $1 million. And I want you to claim that right now. If you're not feeling like you can even make $1 million, there are a million ways to make $1 million. I find more ways that people have made $1 million every day. And I'm like, I never even thought about that. That's amazing. So But it's like realizing that sometimes what works for someone else doesn't always work. But in the overall strategy, when we look at it overall, strategies don't change very much. It's just personalizing it for each business, each person's values, their work availability, like all of those things as well.
That also, if someone else's strategy doesn't work for you, it does not mean that there's anything wrong with you or your business or your ideas or your ability to make money. Yes. So I love that you said individual. This is so important. Like the whole one size fits all thing. No. And this is obviously like a starting baseline, but yeah, I'm glad you said that. Super true. Okay.
Were there any questions that popped up from anybody? If not, I feel like this is a beautiful like closure. I'm glad people got some good takeaways, at least some things to think about. Again, we can work backwards or inwards. Like if you are, it depends on how self-aware people are. That's one of the biggest things. If I could ever leave anybody with anything, even if they never made any money or anything, which doesn't happen, but if they didn't do anything else, if they could just gain self-awareness, it's like that is the best gift that I can ever give someone, and something that I've worked on a very long time. So if you're self-aware, you might be able to pinpoint exactly, what you need support with and where you need it. And you're like, okay, now what? That's okay. Reach out to me. We can figure that out. But you might come from the end where you're like, okay, I know I desire these things. So where do I start from there? Or, hey, I have trouble with these red ones. Okay, what do I need to go backwards from there? So.
Oh, I'm muted. My bad. I was like, damn. That, if you're feeling like it's a lot, just start somewhere. Put on my manifestor hat and say, it is better to move the ball forward.
Yes.
In some way, even an inch, than do nothing. Even an inch, just saying, hey, Brooke, I don't know what I need, but I need something.
Perfect. That's a great place to start. That's fine. I can help you figure that out. That's easy. Yeah.
Brooke, huge, huge, huge thank you. I am so blessed that we have started this guest series. I don't know when the next one will be. It will be in the flow, but I'm just really, really grateful that you've kicked it off, and especially in providing something so different from what I do, because it's the full picture, and I love that. And I want everyone in the Mood Rising sphere to have the best access to the best experts. And just huge thank you for sharing your knowledge and time and your expertise. So thank you.
I feel like how I end every live is it's kind of, I feel like it become my signature, but it's just really building that belief in you. But I just want you to know that you've got this, that you are making magic happen every single day, that your desires are on their way to you, that you are achieving massive things, and massive things happen in any moment in time. Massive things can happen in the next minute. So you've got this. I believe in you. I love you. I am here for you. Please don't ever hesitate to reach out and say hello.
Love that ending. Yeah.
I usually say goodbye.
Okay. All right. We're going to end the broadcast. And I see Gary's beautiful comment too. And maybe you guys can connect. And yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brooke.
Yay. Goodbye.